Howdy, howdy, and welcome back to Workshop Wednesday. And technically, this is our first Workshop Wednesday of 2022. Happy New Year, all. Our first workshop of the month is always a What's New workshop. So we go through the features and updates that were released over the last 30 days or so, in this case, December 2021. And we'll go through and get you caught up so you can take advantage of the latest and greatest features and updates. Before we go too far into this, welcome if this is your first Workshop Wednesday. My name is Chris Mercer. I'm the co-founder of a company called measurementmarketing.io. Everybody calls me Mercer. You should as well. Whether you found us through our podcasts and talks that we're out there giving, always looking for podcasts, by the way. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. CXL Institute, Digital Marketer, Social Media Examiner, Measure Summit, just some of the places where we share some of our content. But for those that really want to learn this stuff, measurementmarketing.io is where you learn the power and strategy and tactics of measurement. So welcome if you are already a member of measurementmarketing.io. It's our job to help people like you figure out how to use all these crazy cool tools. And of course, in today's workshop, it means actually keeping up to date with what's there. Now, the Measurement Marketing Academy members, this is our flagship program, the Measurement Marketing Academy, by the way. So we'll talk more about this a little bit later on. Our members are already kept up with some of these updates, especially those of you who are part of the Measurement Mastermind. But even if you're not, if you're watching this workshop, when you think about any training, when you're taking, especially with analytics, because it can get complicated, it can get overwhelming. There's a lot to it. And some updates are more than others. We actually have some pretty decent updates this month. So you want to take a look at them. But think about the one thing. In other words, what's the one place that you can actually use this update? Now, we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to kind of give you a little bit of guidance as to how to actually do that. All right, let's go ahead and get officially underway. What's new? Updates and features released in December 2021. Now, we're going to go ahead and dive right in, as we always do with these workshops, which is with the framework. Remember, we plan, we build, we launch. Now, in this one, we have a number of updates that are going to help us from marketing the blind, getting to a point where our marketing reliably grows revenues and profits. Now, in the planning stage, we always think about the questions we're supposed to answer, the information we need to collect in order to get those answers, and the actions that we're going to take based upon the answers we get. That's how we build a plan. In this workshop, you're going to see some features and updates specifically with Google Analytics 4 that will help you with gathering some information. So be on the lookout for that. Then in your build stage, it's where we actually set up results for measuring results. We set up the traffic to make sure that we're understanding where the traffic is coming from. And we tie those two things together in a way that tells a natural story. Right? You can do this with all sorts of tools. Data Studio is a really good one for that. And Data Studio had some really cool updates as well. So make sure you pay attention to what those are, because you might be able to take advantage of some of them. At that point, and I really think this is probably where most of the updates from this month are going to be in these two stages, you do use your measurement, right? You launch it. It means you listen to the conversation that's happening between the user and the website. Based on that, you get benchmarks of how the behaviors are currently going. Then you can start to forecast your near future based on your previous results. And then you measure against your forecast. That's what tells you where to optimize. And that's where the optimization comes in. That's the measurement marketing framework and how it relates to today's workshop. Now, we have a special guest instructor, returning champion, Julie Brade. She is our lead instructor over at measurementmarketing.io. Those of you who are Academy members are using Ask Instructor support. You already know Julie. Many of you ask for her by name. She's absolutely awesome. She's been teaching this stuff since 2017. And the reason that we put in here the private guided training clients is because that's like a one-on-one training with our team. Will help train your team, the company's team, for those of you that really want to get a measurement marketing culture. And that's what, so she's done some incredible deep dives. She understands what it's like to work with stakeholders, with clients, things that are out of your control. She knows how to get through organizational politics, and she knows how to use Google Analytics and Tag Manager and Data Studio to get proper measurement. She is an account manager for our dedicated measurement management clients. That is where she's managing, maybe working with some of our certified measurement marketers to get some work done, maybe some projects that we're working on our own. I shouldn't say projects because we don't take projects anymore, but some of our long-term retainer clients that we still have, she will run those accounts, and she does everything with Data Studio for us. So she is the one who's leading the charge, learning the coolest new tactics and techniques. I'm always back there going, can we do this? Can we do that? And she will figure out a way to make it happen. And if she can't, she's paying attention to these updates that she's about to show you, because sometimes it's an update that comes through and she goes, guess what we can do now? And she'll take advantage of it. All right. So with that and without further ado, Julie Brade, I'm going to go ahead and bring you on and let you share screen.
All right, we are going to go ahead and get started on some Data Studio updates that happened in December. So if we go into our edit mode And we want to add some new data. A new data source is actually under here underneath your Google connectors. And surprisingly, it's not a Google one, it's an Amazon one, but it's, I guess, maintained, managed, set up, created, whatever word you want to use, by Google. And so if you happen to use this particular tool, then it's now you have a direct connection into Data Studio with this connector. So if you have that, awesome. Great for all those of you that have Amazon stuff out there. So that is the one with the data source as for an update in December. The next update, I'm actually going to come over to a blank document, and in our theme and layout, I chose this one right here because it's the next update is a little bit easier to understand what it is when you have a darker color. So if I go into view mode, you now see that the new navigation that started a couple of months ago is dark as well. It matches the same color back here. So what is happening, and we have our theme and layout up here, and you go to layout, and by default this is checked. If I uncheck it, so respective report theme, again, this is not named very well, but what it's saying is the navigation is going to use the same report theme that you have. So the dark color back here would be the same dark color of the navigation. Since we unchecked it, we expected that it's going to be the default white color. So that is one of the updates that your navigation will now match. Super helpful when you want to give a very cohesive look for when your users are using your dashboard. So the next update, I'm going to go back here, is for tables, and that is, there's a couple different things that are happening within the tables, but I'm going to select this table, and as you can see, this ... indicates that there is more information out there. What we can do, and this actually works if you have lots of different columns. I'm actually going to do that real quick. We're going to have in page view, and we're just going to select all kind of things. And we're going to just make it really small. That's going to help us go this faster. So if we are selected this particular table and we go over to style, we will see some other new options. This one right here, horizontal scrolling. If we check it, we now can move this little guy over to the right. So I only have 3 columns, so it's not really going to do much, but if I make it smaller, as you can see, this dark gray scroll is allowing us to do that. So preferably you don't have your users scroll that much or make them work for their data, because you want them to be able to find their data really easily. But perhaps there might be a use case for that, so you just want to have something available on the dashboard but not so prominent. Maybe that's a use case for that. Another quick update for tables is that you're now able to have up to, and get this, 100 different dimensions and 100 different metrics. So again, that sounds like a really complicated dashboard. I'm not sure of the exact use case where you would want to do that, but you have, so there's your dimensions. So remember, dimensions are anything you don't do math with, and metrics are the things you do math with. And so you can have up to 100 in each one of these, which sounds like an insanely big dashboard, probably not very useful. If that were the case, it probably end up, for Mercer and myself, who are very familiar and comfortable in spreadsheets, we'd probably do something like that in a spreadsheet. Not sure how useful it would be in Data Studio, but just so you know, that is an option for you, especially for those of you that are familiar with BigQuery. Maybe that's how your data is already organized and you want to be able to reflect it there. Another update that happened in Data Studio. So lots of different things came in December with Data Studio. You are able to pull in more information from Google Ads. And I'm going to show you this list real quick so you guys can see exactly what it is you have. I'm not going to read it off for you, but these are the newer ones. They already released several in the last quarter of 2021, or maybe it was the 3rd quarter, but they've been releasing more and more available fields, dimensions, and metrics that you can use. And so these are some newer ones that were released recently. And the final thing that I want to mention with Data Studio is when they made this theme and layout. So before, in all of our trainings, we would, if you wanted to adjust your theme, meaning the colors, so we have our eyes on the journey, and the way to adjust the colors is you have to adjust your theme. And we would always instruct everyone to click anywhere where there's a grid, and then you would see the option up here. It would be theme and layout, but that's not the case anymore. You now have it up here as well. It actually popped up very inconspicuously about a month or two ago, and now we know why, because they were planning and getting ready for this particular action. So you no longer click here to see that option. You only were able to click this right here. And then you can go over, you see your respect or support theme or not. But you can, if you need to adjust your theme, there is a little bit of a glitch that's been happening. We'll see if it's still there as of this recording. It was there this morning, but I assume that they're going to be fixing this pretty quickly. But so what happens is if you come in to customize, again, because things like eyes on the journey, this particular visualization uses the default colors. As you can see, we have purple, blue, green, orange, yellow. It's this order. And if you wanted to change the order, you just change your chart palette. And so if we wanted to do that, normally we would click on it and the colors would pop up like it would be right here in this area, but that's not happening. But what we can see very carefully is that there's two different scroll options here. So I'm going to click off, and so I want to click over here. So I'm not selecting anything. I'm going to go back in there. And so you can see I only have one scroll bar. It's a little bit difficult to see, but when I click on here now, I have two. If I use the second one that's farther to the right, I scroll all the way down, it actually ends up here, which is not where it's supposed to be. So if you wanted to change your colors or add in a custom color, this is where you do it. You just have to kind of watch those scroll bars. If you're using a trackpad on a laptop or using something on a tablet, it might be a little bit difficult for you. Using an actual mouse is a lot easier. So that's just a little quirk right now when they came up with this theme and layout update. So I just wanted to let you all know of that, and hopefully they'll be fixing it, but at least we do have a way of changing the theme. We just have to pay attention to what's selected and our two different scroll bars. So that is Data Studio. Let's go ahead and dive into some Google Analytics 4 stuff. All right, so one thing that has changed with Google Analytics 4 and Google Ads is now that you can, it's mainly to help with those that have limited permissions, and that's normally you would have to have more of an admin to link Google Analytics to Google Ads, but now they're allowing you to basically, you can see here, you can only need to be an editor. So there's all kind of different steps. I'm not going to show you exactly how to do that because with our Google Analytics 4, we've already connected ours. But I'm just going to show you where you would find that. So you have your Google Ads linking, and then obviously just follow through the steps with that. But if you are not an admin, you can just Google for this and be able to find up those different steps that would work for you. So it's kind of a nice, especially for all of those of you that are separate agencies and do this for your client, and they're a little bit reluctant to give you that particular permissions. So this is nice that they're doing that. The other cool thing that you're now able to do is with Search Console linking within Google Analytics 4. So we've already done that with our main account. And reminder, you can only link Search Console to one particular Google Analytics 4 account or one UA account. So if I come into any one of our other demo Google Analytics 4 accounts, let's see if this one is still there, and I try to come in and link. So if I choose that, I choose our different accounts. Very simple, as you can see. This is the one that we have for our other one, the one that we're actually using, and I can't do that. So same and as it is before. So you can't link it to multiple GA4 accounts. So just be aware of that. And so it's a pretty straightforward of how to get that set up. And One quick note is you do need to be an owner to be able to link. It's somewhere in here with all of the details. With that, you do have to have certain permissions available. So you need to be editor on GA4 and you need to be a verified owner, which is just a fancy way of saying an admin for Search Console. But the words that the Search Console uses is owner, full, and restricted. You need to have owner permissions, and multiple people can be owners, so it's not like you have to be the one that is the only owner. So you have to have that permission and follow those particular steps and you're good to go. And finally, the last one that we have here is the probability metrics and predictive audience stuff that's been updated in Google Analytics 4. So while we are all for forecasting and trying to predict what's going to happen, right now with the Google Analytics 4's kind of not complete system, it's getting there, definitely getting there, but we're going to wait until it has better data and until we start using this. So it's very awesome that they're coming out with this. But for our team, we're definitely going to still be using what we have in, what we have been using. So we have our goals and we have our forecast, and we have been doing this for so long that we can pretty much know, okay, if we send a certain amount of users to the offer page, how many are going to get to the cart and how many are going to purchase. And so we use those for our forecast and predictability, but definitely looking forward to what Google Analytics 4 will come out with when this has enough data to start using and see if it aligns with what we're already using in our system. So those are the updates for Google Analytics 4 and for Data Studio. There wasn't anything updated for Google Tag Manager, but who knows what 2022 will bring. So I'm going to hand it over back to Mercer.
All right. Well, thank you for that. That was excellent. Appreciate that. What was your one thing? Thank you, Julie, by the way. I'm having your slide up here. So what was your one thing that you got from this training? I know for me, when she was kind of coming over and saying, here's what I'm going to cover today, that the issue that Data Studio has, which is, it's a nice update with the theme and layout. I think it's probably a better place where it is. But holy cow, that scroll bar thing, there's zero chance I would have saw that. And I would have thought it was broken or glitching or something I was doing wrong. And clearly it is glitching. It's a Data Studio glitch because of that double scroll thing. Maybe somebody from Data Studio watches this video and can fix that. But I would never have thought to look for that. And this is why I think, again, Julie is a Data Studio rock star, because she goes into these insane details figuring this platform out despite itself sometimes. So that was for sure one of my one things. The other ones, the obvious ones for anything with GA4 at this point. So, Google Analytics 4, the Search Console stuff, and the GA ads thing. I think the Google ads thing was, kind of an interesting thing. When you think about the framework, though, remember, we talk about the framework at all these trainings. We talk about where the skills are that you're learning, the tactics that you're learning, where will you fit them into the framework? The Google Analytics stuff for sure is going to come in with information that you can now collect, like Google Ads and Search Console stuff. And then the way that you can use Data Studio, right? Changing your colors, how to change colors. Like maybe some of you thought you just for some reason can't change colors anymore. And really now you know that there's this subtle, very, very subtle scroll bar that's showing up on the right-hand side that you can scroll down and see. And then you can change your colors, because again, I cannot think for the life of me that's a purpose-built thing. I think it's just a glitch. So eventually they'll fix that. But now you know to look for things like that, and that makes using Data Studio easier so that you can build a better story, so that we can ultimately start to forecast. As Julie said, that the churn probability stuff, cool, it's neat. AI and machine learning takes a whole lot of data. You probably don't have it as a company. I would venture to say most of us don't as companies. There are other ways to forecast, though. And so that's why Julie was showing you like the Eyes on the Journey report and everything else that we do. Because measurement done well is not just telling you what's working and what's not. It's telling you what's coming next. And that's the most important part of it, which is why we have the framework. All right, coming up next week, I should say, the next topic is going to be a getting started topic. We rotate our Workshop Wednesday editions each week. And so this week's edition was a What's New edition. Next week's going to be getting started. Then we do Beyond Basics. Then we go through a strategy session. Then we repeat the process. But next week is getting started. We're going to talk about how to use Google Analytics reports to actually guide actions. I know it was like this for me when I first started with Google Analytics. You see a lot of data. You see a lot of information. but you don't quite know what to do with it. So we're going to talk about some ways to actually get some usefulness out of your Google Analytics reports next week. If you want to make sure that you are getting that workshop, just subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are now officially over 3,000. Thank you very much for everybody who helped us get there and, for subscribing. So if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. I think, what do they say? Ring the bell. Is that what the kids are saying when it comes to YouTube? So you get the notifications and you'll be sure to see that workshop as well. You also have the option of joining the Measurement Marketing Toolbox membership. So the Toolbox membership gives you access to all of this stuff and so much more. So you always have the workshop, but you also get all of the tools that we talk about. Sometimes we'll feature different tools. Like there is a example dashboard that you can copy that's in the Toolbox that has like the eyes on the journeys kind of layout and shows you the funnel layouts that Julie was showing in her presentation. You see them all. They're in the Toolbox. They're free. Everything's free for the Toolbox members. So it's just our way of giving back to the community and helping you along your journey the best that we can. So if you are interested in that, just go to measure.tips/WW. You put in your name and email. It'll send you out a login and you can get access to everything in the Toolbox. The only thing we ask really is that you use it. You got to use it. As long as you're using it, it's fine with us. Now, the other product that we have, I mentioned this earlier, which was the Measurement Marketing Academy. This is our flagship just-in-time learning platform. It is not something where you're going to join the Academy and watch every single video that the Academy has and every single course, because I promise, way too many of them. We produce content faster than you can get through it, but that's the point. Because measurement's changing so fast, you don't need to know every single thing about measurement. You just need to know what you need to know right now. And you need something that can help you get unstuck and on the way. That's why we built the Academy, so you can build your skills. So instead, it's this. This is why we built the Academy, right? It's for this framework, to help you go through the framework, because you don't just go through it once, you go through it hundreds. We're going through it probably thousands of times at this point. We've used this thing so many times. Every time you go through the framework, you build measurement muscle, you get better and better at measurement, at understanding what's working and what's not, and knowing how to tell what's coming next. That's the point of proper measurement. So you can obviously take better actions and improve your results. A very quick tour of the Academy itself, just for those of you who have not seen it quite yet. When you come in, you've got these 6 core blocks. We've got our courses, our workshops, and the Toolbox. That's kind of our content. And we've got 2 options for when you need help, which you will, because we always want to talk to other people. All of us need this. Somebody to bounce ideas off of, or just get some specific help. Maybe your tech stack is a little different than what you saw in a video, so you can get some help. Winner's Circle and support are the 2 options for support. Now, let's go through these one at a time so you can see what they look like. The courses themselves are traditional courses, right? Where it's lessons broken down by topics. There's the Google Analytics Basics one. We have these organized by various ways because we update these courses pretty regularly. Every 4 to 6 weeks, there is typically either an update to an existing course or a brand new one. So that's how we do it. And that's why we have it organized by date, because sometimes people want to come back here and they want to see the latest and greatest courses. So just to show you, like when we did the Tag Manager Retargeting Setup course, which was just a couple of months ago, I think at this point, a few months ago now, October 2021 is when that was last done. You can see it's organized. We got the different lessons here. Each of those lessons organized into different topics. So it's pretty easy to get through here, to get what you need, and to get, again, kind of unstuck and on your way. So traditional courses is what this is. The courses themselves, I'm going to go back to the Win Courses directory here. The courses themselves organized by topic as well, if you'd like. So we have all the Google Analytics training here, the setup, the basics of analytics, how to use it, the beyond basics, the more advanced stuff. One's entirely just for e-commerce. And then we've got one for Google Analytics 4. I believe in 2022, we will actually end up splitting this into 2 different courses. There's going to be a Google Analytics Basics, and then there'll be another one that's Google Analytics 4 Beyond Basics. So I would imagine that's going to happen as GA4 becomes more and more powerful, which it seems to be month over month, which is kind of nice. You have your Tag Manager courses for those that want to learn Tag Manager. So the basics, Beyond Basics, retargeting, right? JavaScript, even server side, which is kind of the new kid on the block for Tag Manager. And then dashboards and reporting. Now, this is where the fun stuff happens, because without better reports, it doesn't really matter if you know analytics or Tag Manager if you can't turn it into a story that leads to natural action. So we've got all sorts of different reporting dashboards back here. Of course, Data Studio, a big one. The Beyond Basics and Basics of Data Studio are back here. You also have how to think about traffic attribution, which numbers are important, retention, how to track for that. You also have strategy. And this is what I think is the sort of our secret sauce. We focus so much on strategy because at the end of the day, it's not about the tools you use. The tools are going to change. They're going to have different features and updates. You're going to rotate tools through probably depending upon the tech that you're using, but it's how you use the tools, how you think about this stuff. That's the most important part. So you'll see all sorts of strategy type courses as well, including forecasting, optimization, planning, etc. So you have all of that. Now, that's just the courses. This one little block here is all of that stuff. What happens when a new change comes out? Where do we have to redo an entire course? Because those things take forever, right? It's a lot to do a course. I know, because we do that. But we have these on-demand workshops for that. So the on-demand workshops, they're the Workshop Wednesdays, but they're all edited down in what we call student editions for our Academy members. So Toolbox members, you will be able to see this part, but the Academy members get to see all of this lit up. So they can go to the exact workshop itself. They can get caught up on the latest and greatest. They've been edited down. There's additional resources that are back there for workshops as well for the members. And the most important part, it is searchable. So you can go through and you can actually search for the specific thing that you need. And it's a great way to stay up to date on what the latest and greatest is, because this is where we give the most recent stuff. So like when Tag Manager changed how they previewed stuff, or Google Analytics coming out with something new, you can get caught up like you are now. So that's the on-demand workshop library, again, completely searchable. So that's that piece. Finally is the Toolbox. Now the Toolbox, this part is free for Toolbox members. All of you have access to this as a Toolbox member. The dashboard toolkit, by the way, is where the templates are. If you kind of liked how our dashboards look and you want to sort of start there and copy from that and see how we did it, copy that Data Studio template that's back there. It's back there. It's free for you. Also, traffic tracking toolkit. There's the optimization pipeline. There's the power planners. There's all sorts of stuff back here that you can use. All tools we've developed for our members, completely free. However, the Get It Done guides, I should say, are for Academy members only. So this, if you want to learn how to build an Eyes on the Journey report as an Academy member, you can do that. We kind of think that this is like a crafting kit. It's like, well, now that you've learned Tag Manager and you know analytics and you know Data Studio, what do you do with it? Well, this is what you do with it. You can build the Eyes on the Journey report. So we have the video training for that. We've got templates for you as well. That's exclusively for Academy members, and it makes the Toolbox a lot more useful for Academy members as well. So those are the three pieces of content where you should get your content. And hopefully you can already start to see, like, man, we do new workshops every week. We do new courses every 4 to 6 weeks. That's why there's so much content available in the Academy, so that whatever questions you have, there's probably something that can help you on demand, right? Where you can kind of search for it and get answers to your questions. That said, there will be times where you need help and support from others. So we've got two options. There's the Winner Circle community, kind of looks like this right here. So broken down into different topics. You can see people asking questions left and right around, what they're charging for stuff, or somebody to get help with something. Tag Manager, if you got specific questions, you can come into the group, get Tag Manager help on things. There's lots of different things that are back here that you can use for the Academy. It's really all about members helping members. That's the idea, members helping members. What most people use is the Ask an Instructor support. Now, the reason is going to be very apparent as to why. Winner Circle is really good when you want to get help about something that's not really our skill set, but you want to talk to somebody who gets measurement and has a better understanding of the question you're trying to answer. For example, if you have a question about how to set up Facebook ads, well, we're not traffic experts. We know the Facebook platform well enough, but not enough to teach it. Same thing with Google Ads, same thing with technical SEO questions. However, our members are definitely back there, and they do have experience with those, and they understand measurement like you. Maybe you're really good at using a certain platform to build pages, right, or design things. You'll be able to help other people, that have questions about that platform. And we all speak measurement back here, which is what's kind of nice. The Ask an Instructor support is an entirely different thing. It's when you want to have a conversation with an instructor and say, listen, I need help with this. I need to talk something out. You totally can. Here's how it works. You go to ask a question, pull this up, pop in your question here, then drop a link to a screenshot or preferably a video. That's the best, with maybe some details of the question. And just send us a video and talk it out. Record your screen. Big pro tip, make sure you record the entire monitor so we can see the URL and everything. That is because sometimes we're going to be looking for certain things that you don't know we're looking for to help you get the answer. Sometimes you think the problem is down here, but it's because the date is off and you didn't show us the date, so we couldn't tell. So show us the entire screen. Kind of like you're virtually calling us over to your workstation saying, can you take a look at this? Here's what's going on. And we get all sorts of questions back here. Anything around measurement is the sweet spot. So just if it's focused on measurement, you're cool to ask it. Strategy questions, not a problem. Show us your funnel, show us your customer journeys. Ask, okay, I'm trying to set up goals. I'm not even sure where a goal should be. What's my ACE goal going to be here? I'm thinking it's going to be this, but I wasn't sure. What's your opinion? Our instructors can help you out. That's what they're there for. Tactical questions. So when you go to set that goal in Tag Manager and you're trying to get a certain eventifier, so you can set up maybe an event goal or a GA4 conversion event to come through. If it's not working for you, create a quick video, share what's going on. Here's my setup. Here's what I'm trying to do. Here's how I'm trying to test it. It's not working. I'm not sure why. send it to the instructors. The instructors, and this is the beauty of this, the instructors 9 times out of 10 are sending you back videos and screenshots as well. So it is quite literally like being able to call us over to your screen and have us point out and be like, oh, just check this box. Here's what it is and here's why that works. Because their job is to teach you, to help you build measurement skills. So they're not going to set up your measurement for you. That is not at all what it is for. And that is substantially more expensive to do that. But to learn it, that's what they're here for. They're here to help you learn. So they might recommend, oh, go watch this on-demand workshop that tackles this product, or go watch this Win course. It'll have the answers here. And, check this little box, because that's what the real issue is. You just missed that one step. They'll be able to help you. They'll be able to help you to build measurement muscle, which is what we all need in today's day and age. So that is the Measurement Marketing Academy in a nutshell. Remember, courses, Ask Instructor support, on-demand workshop, Winner Circle community. I think those are the highlights. You get access to every single course that's back there. You get access to every single update. There's no restrictions on the courses. Anything that's publicly available, you've got access to. The Ask Instructor support, unlimited. You can ask as many questions as you want back there for as long as you are an active member. We get people that ask us multiple questions a day sometimes, especially when you're first starting out. One very popular question, by the way, is, hey, I'm new to the Academy. Here's my funnel. Here's my customer journey. Here's my website. Here's what my analytics looks like. Where would you start? And then the instructors can give you kind of a customized curriculum, because everybody comes to the Academy with different skills. Some are just starting out. Some just found out there is a thing called Google Analytics and they want to learn it. Others are, we've been using Google Analytics, but definitely not well for the last 10 years, and we need to figure out how to take more advantage of it. So our instructors will help come up with customized curriculums as well. So again, that is unlimited support that you have with the Ask Instructor support system. The on-demand workshop library, you get access to every single workshop. Very true story. We used to sell these workshops, each individual workshop, the very one you're watching now, we used to sell these for $20 a piece because we used to do them live. We weren't offering recordings at that time. This is years and years ago when we first started. And that's why eventually there were so many of them. We now have almost 250 probably at this point, maybe over 300. It's a lot. But that's why we combined everything into the Academy. It just made it a whole lot easier to have one place where everybody could go to get answers to whatever question they had. And then, of course, the Winner Circle community. It's worth at least $1,000 to be part of a community of people who are like-minded, who understand measurement, and who can help you in all sorts of different aspects back there. So Winner Circle communities as well. Overall, I'd say you have at least $15,000 in training and support that's back there, because if you go to try to buy these courses individually, it will cost you tens of thousands of dollars, I think, depending upon the level of detail that you're looking for. Our courses, we used to sell them for a couple $100 a piece when we were there. So it's at least $4,000 or $5,000 just for the courses. And that's with our rates of how we used to sell them. And we still didn't sell them for what we should have, but it's at least worth over $15,000 in training support. And it grows every week. That's back there. So there's just more value each and every time that you are there. Every time you visit it, week over week, there's more value that's back there. So we encourage you to take a look, to consider, to maybe even today, join the Measurement Marketing Academy. To do that, just go to measure.tips/getacademy. You will see the most current offers that are available to you. So again, measure.tips/getacademy, and we look forward to seeing you in the Measurement Marketing Academy very soon. It's a great way to start off 2022. With that, we'll go ahead and bring this one to a close. This has been What's New? Updates and features released in December 2021. Thanks again for watching this workshop, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.